I don't know, Idaho or something, shit like that. Salt Lake City.
We have a weird.
Oh no, you don't know because we wouldn't be getting off the plane. So I'm just saying I could see that coming
But if
up.
we went somewhere to stop
Yeah.
and we're carrying the demon box,
The demon
or,
box.
like,
How do you explain that to TSA when they're, hey, what is this? You'd be like,
It's the
okay,
demon
it's this
box.
weird thing. Like, okay, kind of, it's a visual stimulation, but it's also audio stimulation. It's something that's done with circuitry, and like trying to explain that to some TSA guy
Well, you
would
got,
hurt their
you know,
brain, and they'd be like, I wonder what if they're just used to that type of thing happening with all the producers and industry people that are flying in and out of LA.
maybe during that week, but if you listen to Adam Curry, he gets stopped all the time with all his gears he runs around with.
Yeah.
They always ask him, "What is this?" And he's like, "It's a podcast device." Oh, you're a podcaster?
That's when you just lie and say, no, I'm internet radio.
Internet, the power of radio. You went to the internet radio station? No booby photos on this Fat Tuesday. No booby photos.
No. We didn't make that rule this year, did we?
What? That you could send them?
Yeah, no, we've never made a rule that people can't send those.
Yeah. You can send them whenever, but
We
we
allow
figured
it.
something. It was Fat Tuesday. We talked about it last week. The show's going to hell.
Us?
Yeah.
What now? Did you false start us or something? Or
No, I mean we're rolling over here. We got no one in here. Had to fight for our fucking phone number from Google. Had to get in
Way
a
to go.
Google fight. I won. I beat
Dude,
Google.
the Raiders of the Lost Ark episode trying to get over here to do the damn thing because of the weather and the
All sorts of
sand
stuff blowing
beast, that,
around.
the Sultan that blew in from New Mexico.
Felt like I was in Blade Runner for half the day.
Dun, 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 dun. What song was on? What song was the Sultan? What album was that on? It was the Sultan album, wasn't it? Wasn't that the title track on the Mastodon album?
Yeah, maybe so. Hey, look, we do have them all. They're on the server.
Huh? I'm sorry.
All the pictures that were sent to us over the years
Oh,
are up at the servers.
oh, so we got blackmail material on there.
We can
Yeah.
hold people's hostages. Let's see. I think. What is this?
I'm surprised you didn't.
There was a
we
GIF.
I'm surprised we didn't do a play-by-play of the address. Trump, his address tonight, because apparently all hell's supposed to break loose. Like they're gonna do the fist fight, kind of
Aren't-
like the other countries do, like in the Singapores and stuff. And they freaking. Whoosh.
Aren't we kind of tired of that? Watching all hell break loose?
I think everybody's gonna not like it. Like the whole country, both sides are gonna be like, this is stupid. Like, come on. Like,
Whoa.
there's way more important things than to let's just yell at each other profanities and act like idiots and say a bunch of cuss words. Like, why is the new politician every single other word like fucking shit now? It's like they're like a Taylor Sheridan fucking TV series where they overuse shit. They oversay shit. Remember when The Walking Dead decided that it was cool that the AMC was like, it's okay that you can say shit, and they oversaid shit? That's what it reminds me of now when I watch politicians. They oversay shit, and they oversay fuck now. And you're like, dude.
They're so angry.
Yeah, calm down, man.
Relax. When is that supposed to start? At 7? Did that start at 7?
I'm the wrong person to ask for. Sorry, the political news. I had an edible on the way over here too, and I think it's all kicking in all at once now.
So I'm going to be doing a show by myself tonight.
No, you'll be. Well, your topic, but there'll be some. Hey, Matt,
are you on a 12? You'll be on a.
Can we talk about this real quick? You have to reel me in a little bit, you know.
Be like,
say,
okay.
That's too long of a rabbit trail. Let's cut this one off tonight, dog. We'll track him in the morning.
Well, the problem is I just did heroin. Oh,
Wonder how long we could go before we physically needed help if we did a full on marathon pod. Because the
that's what Andrew wants to do.
the other night I was just doing that theatrical voiceover. Something blew in that night too, and my voice before and my voice after were totally different. And after this front came through, or the rain that came through,
Yeah.
like it created a editing nightmare. And so I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna do it over again, do the vocals over again, the voice, the narration over again. And by then, my voice had gotten raspy from like maybe doing an hour of vocal work. And I was like, good gosh, man.
So what you're saying is that I can't find it. Is it After the Rain?
It's after the
Your
rain.
voice. Can you believe Nelson remastered this in 2017?
How did
There's
we
a
miss that?
27 remaster.
How did we not get invited to that NAM party?
What do these two look like these days? The twins, the Nelson
I
twins.
bet you they look beautiful. I bet you their hair's beautiful.
One of them. What was their names? Gunnar Nelson and
I don't know. And I think didn't
Mick
something
Nelson or
happen though?
something?
Like one of them that did a Milli Vanilli thing or something. Like there was something tragic. I thought that recently happened to
like
these
they
guys.
died.
Like maybe one ate the other one or something. It was like,
Matthew and Gunnar Nelson.
I think Matthew ate Gunner. They were on a trip out in Big Ben. And Gunner was like, dude, Matthew looks good.
They're
I'm
the
gonna eat
twin
'em.
sons of Ricky Nelson and Kristen Nelson. Speaking of which, I'm gonna see. Wait, am I gonna see Ricky Nelson? No, Ricky Nelson's
I
dead.
love it when I imagine that there's a spider in my my cans. Hey man, get this spider out of my ear.
I think there's a spider in my ear
Anybody
this
got
year.
a spider in my ear this year? Anybody know what the spider's gonna look like this year?
Hey, spider, I dropped my pencil.
Stupid. That was the
Oh,
original.
shit.
That's what they were gonna write the song about, Van Halen. But they're like, you know what? Maybe I don't know. Let's don't do it about the spider. You want to do it about something else? I don't know, man. I really like the spider.
I like the spider. I tell you, I watched Tropic Thunder last week.
Yeah.
So good.
Where was it streaming? Because I think that's one that
It's
took a
on
hit
Max, I
after
think.
everything got hashtag Me Too'd and stuff.
I think it's on Max.
Like once you couldn't do blackface in like no matter what, no matter if you're a president of a country up north, you couldn't do it. To
Did you hear the shit
how
they're
they
wanting to
can't do that now. Like I'm surprising that it's still available anywhere.
No, it's available. It's good. There's so much in there that is so much more. That's gold that just even talked about.
Did I tell you I
got the
started
big
Silicon
spots.
Valley again?
I want to start Silicon Valley really bad.
Mandy hasn't seen it, and I was like, you probably have dealt with some of this because there's a lot of millennial office humor that's really relatable.
Yeah.
If you've worked at a cube farm. I was like, even though they're not really in a cube farm, they're in their own form of it's like an open format office where they were all these app
'Cause it's Mike
companies and
Judge.
stuff. Yeah,
So gold.
genius, man.
Pure genius.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Well, that dude is in.
How far are y'all in?
Did I tell you I'm completely caught up with Oklahoma? The Sylvester Stallone's Tulsa King, yeah. Yeah, I finished.
You know, I'm just
Dude,
a
it's so
king, and
weird. It's
I live
like
in Tulsa.
I don't know. Like he's always been that. I love. He's one of my favorite actors
I have
ever.
a stroke
Like
on my face.
my dad loved him. I loved him. Like everything he does, we love Sylvester Stallone.
But
No matter how bad it is, like in Cobra, when they're all sitting there going, "Shh, shh, shh, shh." Like, have you taken a run through Cobra lately?
No.
Do that one of these
Okay.
days, and see how it doesn't. It's pretty rough, but it's still Sylvester Stallone, so you still watch it. You're like, this is fucking awesome. And that's kind of the way I've been with all his shows. But I wasn't impressed with the first few episodes of Tulsa King. But
Because it does like this, and he had to put his daughter in it, right?
it's like they leave things in sometimes that he just has a completely different concept of what the scene calls for as far as intensity.
oh,
just like
that's why he's one of the
no,
greatest.
it
Yeah.
goes back to
Yeah.
nothing is over. Like he overacts out of nowhere sometimes.
Hello, Doug.
He's always been that way.
He's always been that way.
It's just
His interpretation of how stuff goes, like, yeah,
is warped a
right
little
there,
bit.
warped.
Nothing is over.
It's like, dude, and like, is everyone scared to tell him, dude? That's
You did it wrong.
or are they like, no, you're gonna win an Oscar for that, man? That's freaking awesome.
I don't know, but I want to watch his reality show now. I hear that's out of control too.
Have you heard about this movie?
I wonder if he does it in normal life. Like he's like,
because this isn't real Showtime, but we will get into this because I want to put this in here. The Oscars and the big winner, Anoli or whatever.
Spicoli. That's interesting.
Yeah, but well, it's a movie. I want to see it.
It was a character critique of Spicoli, huh?
No. It's Anora. I want to see this movie, and I wanted to see it before I knew anything about it. But then the ticket went off on it this week, talking about it. How it's basically a porn, but it has to do with the Russian mob and all this, and this girl that gets intertwined with the Russian mob and all this, and they say it's hilarious. It's funny. So I want to see it, and I wanted to see it beforehand.
Human trafficking's awesome.
Well, the previews made it look awesome, but I didn't know it was all about this whole strip club and had all this sex and stuff.
Hey.
In it. But I mean, that makes me want to see it even more now.
I would go see it, man.
I will.
Yeah. There's nothing saying you can't see it.
No, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna.
You
find
could do a
it,
review. Come back in here and let us know how good it is.
And The Substance. I want to see that with
Yeah.
what's her name? Bruce Willis's Demi Moore, where she takes that substance and the thing grows out of her back, and it's a younger version of her, and it causes all sorts of issues. It's a weird movie.
She's on some ranch out in Alvarado.
Probably. And all she does is
Or
run
Lido.
around and she sings. Washes away.
Remember how they'd
the
flip their
tears
hair and
and
sync?
all the pain, oh, yeah,
They'd be
after
synchronized
the
there,
rain.
and they would flip their hair at the same time, man. Crank that bass.
So I was just looking at this.
One of them was left-handed, one of them was right-handed too.
So they could stand side by side and play their instruments.
They're like semiotic or they were symmetrical.
They went out. Okay, so it says here they after the rain more than ever, and Only Time Will Tell peaked at number 6, number 14, and number 28 respectively. The band started with a headlining club tour before heading out in April and May, opening for Cinderella and Lynch Mob. The brothers then finished the summer headlining their own tour with support from Taquito and Enough's Enough.
Why do you think they call it dope? Whoa. Andrew's going, I fucking want to kill you, isn't he?
What a great time for music.
Do you know how many times he had to tell me in LA that that's not who sang that song?
Yeah. More than ever. Cover?
Oh, man, golly.
Come on. All right. Should we
I'm-
start the show? Let's start the show.
Okay, I thought we were about done with the show. My concept of time's so jacked up.
How much was this edible?
I have been.
How big was this edible?
Oh, it's just a normal 10 milligram one, so
Oh,
just
okay.
like a normal.
And then you smoked
This all day.
all day long. So we're all right.
Yeah, so
That's the level we're at.
yeah.
So that's why you thought the show was
and
already over.
and I had a freaking hell of a weekend, so we can get into that
Okay.
during the show.
Yeah, that's what the point of the top of our show notes that where it says shoot the shit.
Oh, I gotta look at the shoot the shit part.
Yeah, that's where we are.
I like that you spelled fat PH like the cool
Yeah,
way, not
fat.
the dork way.
I was
with
gonna
a
call it
P.
Thick Tuesday
Okay.
with
All right,
3
F.
C's. Thick Tuesday.
I think that would be more offensive to people that were of thickness. Honestly. Than just saying Fat Tuesday.
There's a guy on the street that's got a sticker that says
This
on the
is
back of his
Thick
truck,
Tuesday,
real big,
not Fat Tuesday.
he says, "Thick girls are my weakness." A giant sticker on the back of his truck. All right, here we go.
Which podcasts are you listening to?
Yes.
Oh,
my
God.
Jerry
Yes,
Jonestown Massacre.
Which accounts are you subscribing to?
You guys went to the fucking computer radio show? What the
Yeah.
fuck? Nobody fucking listens to
Computer
the
radio. I
computer
always call
radio.
it the internet radio.
I'm interested, like genuinely.
Fuck Tuesday. Fuck this podcast.
This episode of the
Jay Jones Last
is brought to you by
Was Thomas
Guys
eating
note.
when he did that too?
Victor Wrench.
and
I think
Plastic
he had something in
Objects.
his ear.
The Jerry Jonestown
You were
Massacre
removing something
contains
from his ear.
graphic material, including offensive language, partial nudity, and completely ridiculous thoughts and opinions that shouldn't be expressed or shared by anyone. Listener discretion is advised.
And now coming at you from the Temple of I, just on the outskirts of where the West begins.
Bunch of white lights.
The Jerry Jonestown Massacre!
Move into the next place. That's what we're gonna do, man. We start our show with a bunch of white lights in here, just shooting all over the place. And a bunch of backlit shit.
The cold spark.
Have a pole that just. It would have to be a midget stripper though, because I don't think that a full size stripper that's like the kind that you like
Show 617.
could fit under here because
It is Tuesday, March 4th. Yeah, they can on their hands and knees.
the girl that we hung out with the braids and the tattoos that you and I were partying with back in our single days.
I don't remember this.
Yes, you do. We just talked about this girl like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Anyway,
I don't think that was my single days.
she could not fit in here.
No, she
There's
couldn't
no
fit in
way.
here. Unless she's on her hands and knees under the table.
If you're still listening to us, don't call us anymore. You're getting me in trouble. I'm married now. I'm
Are
married.
you talking about her?
Yeah.
She
I'm
called
talking
you?
about her, Yeah.
Huh. Do you think anybody knows this song at all?
No.
Because it was a B-side of a local band
No.
that I don't even know if they played it that much.
I don't know why I yelled no.
It's on the Infestation release.
Oh.
Single.
Yeah.
The single for
You
Infestation.
know, I think Papa Roach had an album called Infestation, didn't they? That's your favorite rap
I
metal
hate that
band.
Fucking band. So happy Tuesday. It is Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras. It's State of the Union Day.
Time for a King Carry King cake.
I didn't have
Carry
time to
King?
make a King Carry King cake. Nope, didn't have time. And from what I've seen, Mardi Gras rained out from the storms we
Yeah.
had this morning.
It's a powerful front coming through.
How would you know? You slept through.
I guess so.
How did
Like,
you
I don't-
sleep through it?
I think I was really tired from the weekend, like just all the crazy stuff going on and just madness at the domestic palace.
Oh, okay.
And
Don't leave a long space after domestic,
Domestic.
ever. Like, what?
Thomas is like, even in the studio,
it
he
is.
heard that. He's like, I got that one.
I got it.
Yeah. But yeah, I worked all weekend on music and studio stuff, and I guess I was just so zoned in and didn't get enough sleep that it all hit me last night. And I vaguely remember the alarms going off on people's phones,
Mm-hmm.
but that was about like I thought maybe it was in my dream or something. And then next thing I know, my phone starts going off a little bit, and then I saw my mom was saying, "Are you all right?" And I was like, "Well, I guess that the storms developed that I saw a few posts on Twitter about or something."
What's awesome about my family living, almost an hour west of here,
They get hit first.
and they send you all they send
Yeah.
you the warnings. They're like, "Get ready, batten down the hatches, it's coming," and that's what I got at like 4:30 this morning.
I think a lot of the local guys underestimated that whatever the energy was that caused all that to happen
Mm-hmm.
Which is what exactly I saw on. I can't remember if it was on X or if it was on Reddit, but it was saying there was a few people that were saying I think they've underestimated the energy of this thing, and there could be a bunch of activity up towards a little farther west
Mm-hmm. Doug
that
slept there
rolls
too.
all the way through DFW.
And they said there were going to be little spin ups here and there, and there were. There was one in South Arlington. There's one in Irving, one in Louisville.
It branches everywhere, just like back here.
So when I left, messaged my boss. I was like, I'm gonna be late. I'm not leaving till after this blows over and kind of get through. It was awesome because it was like someone had set up a cone and barrel course just for me because they were spread out
You took it upon yourself
everywhere.
to level up your driving skills. Gotcha.
So since no one else was on the road, I'm flying through, water that's
Yeah.
6 to 8 inches deep in certain spots, and then hitting the cones, weaving
Yeah.
in and out of the cones and the barrels, and because there's construction everywhere because it's DFW.
Yeah, I didn't hear from you much today, and sometimes I hear from you during the show days.
Yeah.
And I was like, man,
I was busy.
I thought you were getting that Land Cruiser.
Mm.
I was like, dude, he's getting the cruiser. He's gonna surprise me. I'm gonna show up.
Show
He's
up
gonna be like, look, I
Look,
got this.
Here's my $81,000 vehicle just sitting here. Check it out.
Yeah,
Yeah, that thing.
I like
Is
the look of them.
sex.
I like the look of them online and just the videos I saw, and I was like, man, when I see this thing in person, I'm gonna be. And then the new Lexus SUV came out previously too, and I've seen a few of those driving around, and it looks a lot like that to me. That's a pretty vehicle.
It's
really
badass.
It's cool
Seeing the
looking.
one in the dealership yesterday while I had my car serviced was pretty awesome. It was that's the first one I'd seen like jacked up and with good tires on it and everything. I was like, that looks mean.
Yeah,
Because I've seen a couple of others over in the rich part of Fort Worth where rich people can afford them
driving.
or parked
Yeah,
outside of their coffee place or their workout where they go to work out. And I've seen them sitting there, but they haven't been jacked up yet. They may have better tires on them, but this one was mean and like I had to
Yeah.
crawl up in it. It was pretty tall.
yeah.
It was pretty tall, but the console and everything in it's nice. Big giant screens everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a badass ride.
So are they gonna? They've said they're gonna keep both lines of cars going. Well, is the frame different? Like the way it rides is different,
Uh-huh.
or is it
Yeah, 'cause it's way
the same?
bigger. It's bigger than the 4Runner.
The Land Cruiser is?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's wider. It's cool. I dig it. I dug it.
Yeah.
Pretty nifty. Yeah. So we had the storms and then we had a dust storm blow through where it felt like Blade Runner for a few hours.
It's really felt like the middle of the springtime because of the springtime storm activities that we've had lately.
I went into the back of my work truck to eat lunch, and it was blue.
Yeah.
The skies were blue, clear. It was just windy. Went in there to eat my lunch. Came back out 30 minutes later, and it was like I was in Blade Runner. Everything was orange
Yeah,
and
that's
blowing
happened.
through there. And I was like, what the hell is going on here?
That's exactly what happened to us today. We went into Costco, snagged some F1 gear,
And then
and then come back out, and it's freaking in Dune.
it was weird.
Oh, and well, I'll tell you that story off the mic because it could be seen as tacky. Not on my
Wait.
part.
Oh.
The story itself is tacky.
So anyway, yeah, here we are. We made it through the storms.
After
It's after the rain. We don't have any Thomas here tonight. He felt like he had better shit to do tonight.
He's putting together Grammy.
I gotta go down to Cloudland and record bass lines. Which we do have a voicemail from him. Do we want to hear it?
Yeah, sure. Let's listen.
And just
to
right
his-
off the top of the show, I had to fight for our voicemail number this week. So
They're getting aggressive, aren't they?
Google's getting really aggressive. So we
We
want to
go
ask
after-
everyone, call us. Call us.
If we don't get a call in like 2 hours, we're like, all right, guys, it's been you guys are no value to us. We've decided you owe us money.
Well, the problem is that everybody will either text us or call us directly instead of leaving voicemails for the show to make the show more
Because
interesting.
they know we won't freaking answer it until Tuesday if they
That's true.
tech need us.
But anyway, call us. We have a number. It's 682-593-5586
Caller number 1.
or 682-593-JJTM. It's the same number. Call that number. Leave a voicemail for us so we can play your voice on the air on Tuesday. And, anyway, here's the voicemail we got tonight.
Is it creamy?
Hopefully this works. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Is it working?
Good evening. My name is Joshua Reed, formerly of Josh and the Jet Noise, and as you guys like to call it, the Confounded. I would like to call and apologize for stealing RoboTuner this evening. I did not mean to cause a spectacle of things.
Oh, I see what he did there.
We are in the process of recording an album that I'm working on, and I appreciate the loan of RoboTuner for the evening. I hope you guys are well. I hope you all have a pleasant evening. Be kind to each other. And because he's not there, red pants? I don't know. Anyways, sorry. Have a nice night.
Yeah, this is going down in the red book. This is a strike against him. We see where Thomas's priorities are. Either being the number one podcast in North Texas, the highest paid
You're
podcast in
gonna
North
hurt
Texas,
his feelings, man.
or
You're gonna get our
go
our
play
guy-
bass. I'm taking it easy. The stuff you were saying before the show, when you were throwing stuff around and punching holes in sheetrock.
I was just upset that they didn't have my flavor at the Dutch Brothers.
Oh, that's what it was, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, he's down there recording bass tonight. I think they're doing it tonight, tomorrow night, or Thursday night, or something like that. So, be watching for Confounded 2 Electric Boogaloo's new record. Is that what Josh is going to call it? Or is this going to be his?
I think it's
own
funny
name?
that Thomas always gets really involved with stuff in here when he's getting into projects out there. It's funny, interesting.
Maybe just him being on here has made him more desirable
Yeah.
out there. So they want him. They're like,
Yeah.
oh,
See, I started watching The Worst
he's part of this.
Roommates on Netflix, and it all goes back to that. I'm starting to think about every relationship around me. I'm like, wait a second. Now it's starting to make
how
sense.
long would you and Thomas last as roommates?
Well, how long was the river trip where we were all holed up together for
Okay,
a minute?
let's go back. Yeah, because that was
That was about it.
4 days.
Imagine if Steadfast would have gone on the road and toured with bands.
3 of y'all would have been dead,
Yeah.
and Jesse would have still been running around.
He'd still be over there, yeah.
He'd still-
He'd knock
he'd
up
still
like
be
some
alive.
Irish lady. No.
So, when that river trip, did all y'all stay together in the same room?
I don't remember what room we were supposed to be in, honestly. That trip is a big blur. If you remember, that was right after my divorce. I was not in good shape that year.
I can't remember if you, Seth, and
It was in
Luke, and
Yeah.
Josama all stayed in the same room or not.
I'm talking about the trip where
Thomas.
you put me to bed at like 1:00 in the afternoon the next day.
I didn't do that.
Or
That's when
somebody
you
did,
came
and I
into
woke-
mine and Jennifer's room at the time, and
Yeah.
went to bed in there. And
At
it was like 1 o'clock.
in the afternoon, and then woke up
Yeah.
and it was nighttime, and we were about to have this big, awesome meal.
Barbecue with steaks and everything. You
Yeah.
woke up in time for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was right after all that.
We were drinking that Baron Jaeger.
And I don't know
I
who
don't-
the fuck brought that and why
It
they
was
brought it.
Seth and
Seth.
his hood friend, Joe Sama.
Oh yeah, Josama did like that stuff.
We got to have Baron Jaeger. It's awesome. That's what did me in.
Was Eric there
was-
too?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe I'm confusing him. I don't know.
No,
I think every trip that we ever took to the down there, it's been a blur. But
Shelby was there. No Chris.
that was a
at the
great
big
trip
house.
too. When we went to. Or wait, I might be confusing things because didn't we go also like when was the trip? That trip where we went and stayed in the condo, the high rise condo.
That was a river trip year, but it was around Memorial Day, but we didn't do it.
That
It
was
was
after my
after-
divorce.
Yeah, you were
I'd been divorced a couple of years.
think so. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
when we had the sweet mullets kicking.
I had a badass mullet there. That was the angry pirate year where everybody kept getting angry pirated.
Remember how happy everyone was back then? Everybody was happy.
Hey, did you see my little diatribe I said in our NAM chat that cracked me up last week about the promotional photo shoot I went and did?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cracked me up. I was going to talk about it on here, but
Yeah.
went and shot, did promo photos for Flickerstick last Wednesday night over at Universal Recording Studio. And we get there and it's all mixed up. Like the room we're supposed to use, the owner of the studio, the rehearsal studio, had double booked it because it's one of those hourly rooms you can rent.
Eric Delegard did
Big
that
giant.
to me.
So we get there
Son of a
and we're trying to get in
bitch.
the door and the code's not right. And we're all like, what the hell? And then another band comes up and starts trying to get in and their code isn't right. So we finally get the right code. We get through the door and I'm taking all the camera stuff in and starting to get it set up. And then this other band comes walking. It's like, do y'all have this room? We're like, yeah. So there's a little bit of, we have conversations back and forth. Everybody, it all gets situated. Long story short, it all gets situated because what we're going to do is, all I needed was about an hour. And they still had to set up all their gear and we're waiting on someone to show up. So they're like, okay, we can split this room because it's a giant room. It was like 20 by 30. It was huge. And I was like, yeah, we just need this half. Give me an hour. We're doing a quick photo shoot. It's nothing crazy over the top. The concept's really easy. I can set up, get it down. So we're working and get everything set up. Me and Susie get everything set up and everything good and everything. And they're still setting up the gear. And it was funny. I've never seen people bring into hourly practice ego boxes to stand on. So that made me laugh.
Oh.
Like,
to the recording studio?
No, to the practice studio.
Oh, the rehearsal studio?
We're going to rehearse.
They had a little block?
The girl brought in these
Bang?
2 blocks that you stand on and
For
they
Bob
light
Bob
up
Bang.
underneath. Yeah, for Bob Bob Bang.
Golly.
And I was like, that kind of makes me laugh. That's kind of funny. I mean, rehearsals just usually playing the music, not
I remember
performing.
Maybe if you're a guy that doesn't feel natural rhythm in the moment, like maybe you should have it there if you're the front man.
Well, there's a front female.
A front female?
Yeah.
Or there's 3 of them up front, so you got that chubby guitarist or whatever that needs to work on his weight and his rhythm a little bit.
You hide him in the dark.
Practice.
Oh,
so I could see why the kids would bring a Bob box.
So they have the boxes and everything. I'm laughing. So we start shooting, and we're kind of going through a couple of different poses and stuff, and the way I have things set up, and then all of a sudden, the members that are there just start blasting, start going through some of the songs they're working on, and it's Wasp songs.
Yeah.
And it
How many guys
started
are in
making me
this
laugh.
band?
I think there were 4, and it's 2 females, 2 males. They're the only female-fronted Wasp tribute band in the world, or something like that. They're called Blacked Out in Texas, or something like that.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So we had a soundtrack during the photo shoot of Wasp. So I'm shooting flicker stick
and then
as Wasp is playing. It was.
That's awesome.
The craziest polar opposite of both worlds.
That's really cool, though. That's a cool story.
It made me laugh. And apparently, I had to go look them up. And
They
their
probably make a bunch of
Instagram,
money, man. They're probably huge.
they play some big shows. And I was looking through their Instagram, and she wears the cod piece with the saw blade going through her crotch.
Just like Blackie.
And she's drinking blood, and she has the full hardcore gear to be just like Blackie.
Yeah.
The only thing is she tapes off her nipples when she's shirtless, like Blackie. But it was funny. It was freaking hilarious. And I was like,
Did she rehearse that way?
Weird. No.
That'd be distracting.
Yeah. But it was it made me laugh. It was just like Wasp tunes.
Did you get any video footage of it?
No.
Of it going on? Damn,
I
dude.
shouldn't.
Did he? Did
No,
any
I
of the
don't
guys
think-
in the band get it?
No. But it was funny
Man,
because the guys in
dude,
the bands
fuck.
knew.
You gotta capture that stuff. That's
Y'all look at each other like,
funny.
this is a wasp. What's up? So which made me think we need to start a Striper tribute band.
That'd be cool. That'd be a lot of fun. I know 3 dudes that would do it too.
I know, instantly. Just to be funny.
And we would love it'd be fun rehearsals. We'd have a blast doing it.
We could go play with the Righteous Gemstones or a church like that.
Yeah.
We start playing mega churches.
You could.
Mm-hmm.
You could. I wonder if they're still playing shows. Because I thought I
thought they
heard
just
recently
came
they
through
play
not that
yeah, and they're trying to get their shit together again. That's crazy.
Can you
Or
imagine?
one of them got sick or something. I
So
think
you're in a Striper tribute band, right?
Yeah.
And you're known all over Texas. And
you
Joel,
can only do cocaine. You can't drink. You can't smoke weed. You can't do anything else except do blow. That's it.
is that what they did? Oh yeah, they've got dates all over
Yeah.
Europe right now. But here's you're in this band and you're killing it. Everybody knows you're the best Striper tribute band. You dress up like them, everything.
No one else.
You got a
Striper
huge
like us.
Production. You're playing these giant shows, and then you get a call.
What would your name be?
Hold on. You get a call from Joel Osteen. He goes, for $100,000, I'll have you guys come down here and play my church.
Now this is turning into an episode of Texaxis.
Would you go down and play a show at Joel Osteen's church, mega church, for $100,000 as Striper?
Sorry. Only if we call it Striper. Striper.
Everybody calls you Stripper, though. Stripper.
If they don't say our name right, we're walking off the stage.
So you'll play at
it's-
Joel Osteen's joint?
Yeah, I'd play it, especially if it was over $500. I'm in.
Wow, what a sellout! After all the bad shit you
Is
said,
there free
about
beer for my
Joel-
friends?
free cocaine, because it's
Well, yeah, we have to have that.
it's Joel Osteen.
Yeah.
You know he's coked up.
Yeah. As long as I have weed and my friends have beer, we're probably gonna sign on for that show for $500. Deal.
I don't think I'd do it.
You
I'd
know-
still stand my ground and be like, "Fuck you, Joel Osteen.
I thought about this.
You look like a goat's ass."
when I was flying home from California recently from the NAM trip.
Uh-huh.
I started thinking, I was like, dude, what if something happened and a few of the guys were in a band that got, let's say Spectacle got huge, like Death Clock, huge.
We are huge over in a country I can't even pronounce.
I mean, like to where you're touring like all the major festivals right under like you're banging up with Gorgier and stuff like that, maybe.
Oh.
All right.
Now we're talking. I'm in.
And all of us that was at NAM, like it wouldn't have to be who was in the band or who wasn't, would be the road crew and everything else, like a group of friends like that, because that's a lot of bands.
That's the way it works.
Kind of works sometimes. Is it's like a group of guys. A few of them might be in the
Y'all
band,
have to
but
be union.
I'm just wondering how it would go. Like, would we make it? Especially if if the tour started overseas, would we make the first show?
I would. I don't know. It just depends on how well.
It depends on who's playing in the band and who's playing in the road crew. I think it doesn't matter.
Well, I'm sure we're not all in the same bus because I mean we're the band. We don't ride with the road crew.
Yeah,
And y'all are busy setting our shit up
and that would be a
tuning
thing.
our instruments.
No
and make
matter
everything-
what, is like whoever was the road crew. Like, what are you doing on my bus?
Mhm.
Dude, this is a I was once eaten bus, man. This
This
isn't
is
a
the-
fuck. This isn't a. What do you think this is, Jerry Jonestown
are
or
you?
something? Get
Yeah.
the fuck out of here.
This
Go back to
isn't
the-
Tuesday. We're
Yeah.
not doing a podcast. Go
It's-
back to your own bus.
This is Dave. He's like, well, I just wanted to see if y'all wanted to.
Matt,
get
you
some-
can only come on
we don't-
my bus
what?
on Tuesday nights.
Yeah, yeah. This isn't Tuesday night, Matt.
This isn't Tuesday. Get off my bus.
We're all talking to different.
Go restring my bases.
We're all talking to different managers, and it's all our girlfriends and wives about being pit. Pretty much, we have a friend that told us that's
that
how a
needs to
lot
be
of
like
bands.
that
that's
needs to
how it
be
is.
season 3 of Texaxis.
Could
Once
be.
the band takes off.
One
yeah.
of the bands gets signed and has to go on and gets
and their friends are
huge.
the road crew, and that's when
It's like an entourage of metal. We just get into dumb shit all the time.
the only time you see your friends is when you stop at a truck stop
Yeah.
to get midnight food and drinks and stuff.
And,
If you're still with us, you're still alive.
yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. That's wild. That'd be a good show. I'd watch that, man. I'd be like, you know what? I can watch these guys.
Sell it to Netflix. They're always wanting stuff.
So no one got video of the
Wasp. No,
That's insane.
I know. Should have. I should have told Susie. Fire it up. Fire up your camera. Or fire up some audio. Get some of this.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, so I don't remember what I did Friday night. I barely remember this weekend, except for Saturday night. We keep having these shows, and no lie, we keep having these epic shows that keep popping up here in Fort Worth that, like, all the royalty, the badass musicians of Fort Worth get together and just put on these epic sets, and it's like from out of nowhere, surprise! Hey, we're doing this. Here we go, and it keeps happening, and it seems like most of the time it's at the Cicada, and I'm just 100% blown away by what I saw Saturday night. It was so fucking good. You had this band called Desert Folk kick things off, which I kept calling Desert Rock all night. And then
That's what I thought. It was a Desert Rock and Doom show from
they were more
Text.
like if Desert Rock was from Texas instead of from California. That's what these guys were kind of like. Had a little twang. They were from Big Spring. A little heavy with some twang. And then Christian Carlos Caraval. I think I said his last name right. Get confused. But it was his EP release party for his 300 EP release, which is available on all the outlets. And he had an all-star lineup there with him. He had Jorts, Steve Stewart, and he had John. And who else? I forgot who else was up there with him. But rolled through his set playing his stuff, and then threw in a couple of covers here and there, like "Wish You Were Here." But it was just like perfect. It was a perfect set. Everything sounded fantastic. Everything came across, translated super well. It was one of those nights where you're just like, man, this is fucking vibing. This is good. This is a good night. And the crowd was good. A whole bunch of people, we all know, showed up for this. And then the big surprise that was teased all week was the return of Epic Ruins, who hasn't played a show in Fort Worth since 2018, I think. And we're a 4-piece way back in the day, but now they're an 8-piece with a bunch of our friends all in the band. And they just fucking dominated the night, just tore the place down. It was so good. So good.
Yeah.
It was just one of those epic nights out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That was great. And my plan, or mine and Susie's plan, was actually to go see Brian Breckenridge over by your house at Hooligans. And then we started getting all these texts about going down to Cicada.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna be there? You need to be there. You need to come down. You guys need to come down. Come down here. You need to be here at this. So when I found out it was Epic Ruins, I was like, yeah, we got to go. Because it's been a long time. That's like 8 years, right?
6.
Oh, yeah, they
right?
did.
It's 2018, then yeah, it'd be 6 years, right?
Yeah.
I think. No, 7. 7 years. I don't know.
Christian Carlos
I
did
can't do
Teenage Dirtbag at the end of one of his
Oh, yeah.
songs. He rolled into it, and that was epic. I forgot about that. It was just a great night for Fort Worth music. Like, that was just fantastic. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Need more of that.
Yeah. And everybody to show up and everybody to be out there and be all loving on each other and
Yeah,
having a good time together.
yeah. Draw out the sex cult. You draw the sex cult out, you're having a good time, right?
Yep.
No matter what.
We're just not going to hide that anymore, huh?
I mean, I've never, if I, in my drinking days,
7 years.
in my drinking days too.
No.
I've never
I thought
been-
the sex cult was secret.
Oh,
Now we're talking about it. We're being too open with it.
we need to reel it in.
We need to reel it back in.
We don't want to get the wrong people upset.
Well, we don't want
That's how
everybody.
you end up in a crab trap in the middle of the Gulf of America,
It's either that or you don't want to show up and just see everybody
or
there.
as I like to call the Gulf of Van Halen.
Yes. You don't want to show up at a sex cult party and then see everybody there.
No, that's
No,
the opposite
that's
of what
the
you want
opposite
to
of what. So
happen.
that's why you got to stop talking about it. It's like Girl Gang. Girl Gang doesn't exist.
I think every time, we get into this conversation from now on, we should have that enigma. Enigma starts playing.
Oh, Inwa. do 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 do. So yeah, this
No one's gonna
weekend-
figure it out.
no. But
The only people that know
will
is
be the people that listen to this
the-
episode from here on out.
no. It has to be someone from within.
Oh.
I'm gonna start doing Trent Reznor tricks on everybody now.
No one needs to talk about the sex cult anymore.
No.
It's all
Shh. What? I don't know what you're talking about, man.
so. Yeah, this weekend,
What do you
Susie
know
brings
about
up in the
sex
chat room.
cults of DFW?
If you want another epic night of funness, this one's just gonna be a fun night. Cicada's 2-year anniversary is this Saturday, and playing is our friends and fellow. I don't know what I want to call them. Anyway, Whiskey Dick's gonna be there.
Tarrant County dudes?
Yeah, guys, we've spent a lot of time with.
Northeast Tarrant County? As someone said on the Eagle.
One of us has shared blood, sweat, tears, and beers with. That would be you.
And you.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, our buddies Whiskey Dick are playing, and then Hen and the Cox from Denton,
It'd
and then the infamous.
be a loud night.
It's going to be a loud night, and the crazy thing is that as after Lost in Sound, because Lost in Sound is Saturday all along the South Main corridor from noon to midnight, and we have a bunch of friends playing. JOE is playing. The Bearded Lady. Mandy Hand is playing the Holly. And there's a bunch of other bands playing all through the South Side that night. It's going to be a good day. Saturday's going to be a good day. Adderall up. Go for the long haul. If you
Get
can't
Celsius.
find any, get you Celsius.
Some boner pills.
If you can't find any of the Fort Worth regulars to give you cocaine, then just get you some
Gonna
Celsius.
definitely need, especially if you run into that sex cult.
I thought we weren't going to talk about that anymore.
Ghost
Ghost Roper. Time your mushrooms. It's all that.
Time them right.
Time them right. So, yeah, it'll be a good night. Or a good day. It'll be fun. And the good night down Cicada. You'll find us. You'll see us. The other thing we've got to figure out, which I need an answer from you,
Do we get paid for that?
which I'll probably have to have an answer from you tomorrow.
How about the Russian circles?
Tomorrow in Denton is Russian Circles and Pelican.
I thought it is tomorrow.
It is tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow night.
So you'll definitely need to know by tomorrow.
I'll need to know during the day tomorrow if you want to go up there for that or not.
You know what?
$30.
Just kidding.
I wouldn't pay $40 to see a band. We just talked to a guy on the phone that said he wouldn't pay $40 for a band.
We did.
Before
That's
the
a
show.
really low limit, I think, though. Like, there's a lot of bands that I would pay for. There's some, like, a lot of local bands I'd pay $40 to go see.
If Course of Empire
I'd
was
pay
like,
$40 for that. for
we're
sure.
gonna play Tulips. Here's my $40. I'd pay them $40 to see that. Who else? Tripping Daisy? Would you pay $40 for them?
Oh, for sure, Tripping Daisy. And Polyphonic Spree, probably.
The Toadies?
Hang on, buddy. I got bills to pay.
The Methinks?
Fuck yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Well, besides, they're my friends. Like I would do it if they weren't my friends.
I'd
too.
tell them I'm not paying. I'll come to the show, but I'm not paying. Put me on the list.
I'd make a stink. I'd damn right would make a stink. I'd be like, I know fucking Trash Pockets. Okay,
I do.
I fucking know him.
I saw him the other night
Yeah, at the
at Cicada. Yeah, he was there. Yep, at the party. What about? I had someone else in my head just now who wouldn't be offended if I said we wouldn't pay $40 for him.
I would pay.
Shaolin Death Squad.
Oh, easy. Come on now.
That's like a $20 band.
And that's your label mates and stuff. Like we're supposed to be the frontier or the what do you call it? The
So what you're
premier
saying-
podcast of the record label, and we're gonna pay them $40
to go see him
I think they should give us $40 and some drink coupons.
because of all the promo we'd probably do for that show.
And that think
Would you
about all
pay
the stuff that
$40?
we should be back paid for.
Would you pay $40 to come see Spectacle?
Yeah, I would.
Oh, you would?
Yeah,
Oh,
pay that much.
I feel good about
Then
that. I like that.
you would hear a bunch of shit though. What the fuck?
40 fucking bucks. It cost me and Mandy $80 to get in here. You know what we could have done with that?
Well, I was gonna get a shirt. Fuck, James, can I get a shirt at least? Fuck.
If you paid $40 at any time to see us locally, we would probably give you a bunch of shirts and stickers and records. That's a lot of money.
I know.
That's a lot of money.
But
Unless we're on a
still-
big bill.
I would assume that it would be a big bill if if it was a $40 cover. That it
No, it's
wasn't just
just
gonna be
us.
you guys in like FlowJack.
What if it's Spectacle at Billy Bob's?
I would still like. Hopefully, there would be a couple of more bands on the bill, or then I'd really start bitching. I'd be like $40.
Ooh. I got a funny note that I can't say on the air, but it was hilarious. I'll tell you off the air. That's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got to figure out
Was that a Mardi Gras picture?
30 grand.
30
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, $30 for Russian Circles and Pelican. And when's the last time Pelican's been here? I think the last time Pelican was here was when we went.
Coliseum show or whatever. Or
And
was that Red Sparrows?
ooh. It was all four, wasn't it? Russian Circles,
I can't
Coliseum.
remember. I think we also saw Pelican at a larger venue too, like at Hard Rock or not Hard Rock, but
Gas Monkey.
yeah,
we see 'em at
or
Gas
that
Monkey?
other place that we always go to, House of Blues or something. Or
Let's just look.
yeah,
Let me look at my catalog here of when we saw Pelican in Dallas.
you remember the movie Pelican Brief?
They played Trees in 2005, Clearview in 2005.
It wasn't Clearview.
It wasn't that long, that far back either. They played Haley's in Denton
That might have been it.
in 06. Whoa, what are you doing?
This is why I need to be plugged in so I can
In-
play live audio.
Yeah, that's all we got.
I bet it's the Haley show
It may have been. Yeah.
because a lot
They've
of those
only
bands
played
we
4
caught,
Texas shows.
a lot of those bands only played up in Denton for a while. They didn't really play much in Dallas. It was always they'd hit Denton and go down to Austin.
Yeah, they've only played 4 Texas shows ever.
Yeah.
So it had to be that one.
Remember that run of shows that, or a few years, not run of shows, but the few years that Red Fang came and played Rubber Gloves? We're like, dude, you're not going to be able to see this band much longer here at this venue. It's going to be the same as like Mastodon and all the other ones that have
So we saw-
ripped through a couple of times. You're like,
Who played with them? Kalisa played with them.
Who? With who?
With Red Fang.
Oh, man, everybody's played with them. They were
But
on the
no.
Metallica tour, weren't they, for a little bit?
I'm talking about when we saw them at Rubber Gloves.
Oh, I don't know.
There's
There was-
Kalisa, them, and there was some other crazy.
Yeah.
That wasn't the House Harkonnen show, was it? They didn't
No.
open everything up, did they? was trying to remember.
Haley's was a cool venue. Sounded good there for a while.
Yep. All right. So, anything else fun happened this weekend that captivated your attention?
Uh,
Are you tired of all this Zelensky bullshit?
yeah, I'm a little over it. Luckily I was pretty busy over the weekend doing stuff to keep me sane, and it did. It kept me sane and busy. So I didn't get to stay on top of it, but the little amount that I saw was very overwhelming. Like, it's like, come on.
Yeah. On Friday, like I got a bunch of the guys I was working with on Friday at my office were like freaked out. We're like, "Oh my god, have you seen this? Oh my god, it's the greatest! Oh my god!" So I went and watched the clips.
I had to walk a few people off the ledge, man, because of it.
If you just watch the clips that mainstream media was putting out there, it's shocking. But if you watch the whole thing,
yeah,
like I think the whole thing's 50 minutes. You don't have to watch the whole thing because there's a 20-minute version that's pretty good that allows you to see all the questions being asked by the stupid reporters that were in there. Like, who the fuck are these reporters? And then how it slowly starts going off the rails and gets crazy. That's a lot better. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't
what
think
the point was.
It's
of this.
funny.
I don't know what was going on. I don't know why.
It's funny how we're
done this way.
still a divided country where some people can watch, two groups of people can watch the same exact thing happen and take away two totally different things. And that's the main takeaway that I took from it, was how freaked out everybody got and how everybody all of a sudden was like back to square one, doing the Russian collusion thing, and like conservatives saying the same old things. Just like, dude, let's don't do this again.
Because
let's just
most
get this
of them
fucking.
We're watching the clips.
Didn't understand what the clips were about.
From that mainstream media was like, and you'll see in this clip,
Yeah.
and you'll see they're leading into it, and they're leading a false narrative of what led into it. That's all that.
I thought the propaganda would start to slow down a little bit after the election. I really did. I know
they don't like this guy. Propaganda has to keep going. And now you've got Elon in there making the propaganda even better. Because I don't know what the fuck that guy's doing.
I have no idea. Have you listened to his Joe Rogan show yet?
No, I don't. I don't have the mental capacity right now to do that.
There's a lot of crazy shows going on right now, isn't there?
Especially with the dumb shit that happened on Friday, because like I don't understand how everybody's like pro Ukraine, so pro Ukraine. Well, I understand that like half the dipshits on my Facebook feed have never even looked into Ukraine or have any idea of before the war what Ukraine was like. And actually, someone put together a neat little post that shows all the mainstream media outlets what they were saying pre-war and what they were saying after the war started about Ukraine. About almost all of them were like, it's the most corrupt country in the world. And then over here, oh my God, we gotta pray for them and help them because they're the stability in Europe and they're the stability in Asia, whatever. It's pretty shocking, but you've got a guy in there that was basically Zelensky. Like, yes, he may have been attacked by Trump and Vance, but do you not see that Zelensky doesn't want peace? And he just wants to keep sending his people out there to die. And he wants to send the French, like the French were going to send him a bunch of people.
He seems to be playing some
games. And the Italian army was going to send him some people. Well, the Italians called all their people back. We're not sacrificing our army for you. That happened on like Saturday or Sunday.
Did you hear the theory about how that he spoke with one of the major Democrat senators that's in leadership right like an hour before he went in and talked, and they think that whoever this guy is, I can't remember his name.
Rubio?
No, not this was a Democrat senator.
Oh,
wasn't a Republican. But this guy freaking supposedly had a conversation an hour before he went into the meetings with the president and the vice president, right?
And
Well,
set him up.
and
got
set him
rolling.
up. Said you need to agitate Trump to the fullest, and here's the deal: why? Da 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 da. And he just went with it and didn't realize what kind of bear trap he stepped in until it had already happened.
Well, what's crazy was immediately after that, the Ukrainian parliament was trying to file impeachment charges against him to get him out of there. Because technically, he's not even supposed to be in power anymore. He has, Ukraine has become a police state basically, and their elections were supposed to be what, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and he just kept himself in power because they're at war. And that's kind of what everybody was afraid Trump was going to do, or Biden was going to do, depending on which side you were on, was going to get us into war and then just never really relinquish his power. Well, that's exactly what Zelensky's doing now. And he doesn't want. Over the weekend, other reports came out, which I don't know who's typing this shit up for him, but he's all of a sudden a man of peace. We got to have peace. We got to have peace. I want peace, but it didn't seem like that on Friday with that little conversation they had.
That's because he had no cover. They were sick of apparently this has been going on with the last 3 meetings. They met with him, and he would come in saying one thing, and then in front of the media, and then completely change his tune when they got behind closed doors. This was what happened at the meeting that was at over on that side of the pond, like 2 weeks ago, and a meeting before that. He did the same exact thing, and finally they were like, we've had enough of this. That's why Rubio is so frustrated, I think, is because he's like, we've had enough of this. So the only way we can get this guy like squared away and talking, getting on the same page in any way, fashion, or form is to hold him to the fire while the media is there live, like get into some of these discussions live, so he's on record, and he can't work something and say something behind the camera with them and then come out and say something different when he gets out in front of the camera.
That's exactly why the whole Oval Office thing went down.
Exactly.
Yeah. You're 100% right on that, because that's what everything is pointing at, is that so he would stop saying shit behind the scenes.
Yeah.
The crazy, there were 2 videos that came up that were kind of crazy. And I've heard this for a while and didn't really notice it until people broke down the Oval Office video and then the video the next day when he flew over to
the UK.
To the UK and met with the EU Parliament. Well, was it? Or did he fly to Brussels? Wherever it was, where he got with all the people, all the leaders of the EU, and had that meeting. But the clues that he's a cokehead,
oh my gosh,
are insane.
That's what I was saying. That whole thing came down and looked like something that a cokehead would have happen at.
That's what a lot of people said right
outside
away.
of Lola's with a band, like getting in a band fight. Just all of a sudden he's like, and like he just fucks himself.
And gets all fidgety and gets all crazy and stuff.
Yeah, and like,
but then there's like a super cut of him just playing with his nose. And sniffing and scratching.
That party back in the day when he was all like that, and they did the improvised the horns on him that was going around for a while.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
or the tongue. It was either tongue or horns.
I mean, that's kind of crazy. I mean, all the signs are there. I mean, it looks.
It's funny because you got to watch who you talk about, like who you talk to about this stuff, because the thing that's frustrating is the people that are so uninformed about how, like you said, how completely corrupt.
I won't talk to him about it.
And
that's like, I didn't get in any discussion with anybody that I'm kind of friends with on Facebook or close to.
It's a smart
that were posting all this stuff, because I know 100% they know nothing about Ukraine.
If you even go back before even Trump,
even my own bandmates, I won't even talk to it about.
Well, I thought you were slamming them down and quitting, walking out.
Half those guys are fucking stupid too.
What are you walking out?
What are you walking out? Yeah.
I'm just we talked back in 2000, like the beginning of our show, before Trump was even in office, his first term. you and I had conversations on this podcast about how a lot of the phishing schemes, a lot of the the hacks and everything that are happening around the world are
The viruses, the
originating
worms.
from Ukraine.
And I will 100% be honest right here. When we started this show, I was a poor man, didn't have a whole lot of money, had this Mac plugins, software is very
And you
expensive.
hired Doge, and they reworked everything and made it where you could start turning a profit.
No, I had a bunch of software that I had to have cracked or keygened or hacked, and I will go out on a limb and say 100% of all those hacks and cracks and keygens
were probably originated in
are Ukrainian. I can pull some of them. I got a hard drive with them on there.
Remember when our
we
first
go through there and
reports,
look at them and see that they're all from Ukraine.
Remember our first podcast reports? Who our numbers just seemed to be through the roof.
They were one of the countries.
Was Ukraine?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Why does our name come up so much in Ukraine and Russia?
There's so many farms over there.
Yeah. So the thing, and this dude.
And I'm not talking agricultural farms. I'm talking about digital farms.
I think just people are still in denial about how bad they've been duped by the Biden administration and the country of Ukraine. I think that, and now they're finding out that this terrible what is it, USAID thing, like the details of that. I started the Joe Rogan Elon podcast, the more recent one, the one he did like last week.
Yeah,
dude,
did he take his chainsaw?
Some of the stuff that he's getting into, you're like, it's like stupid, silly things that anyone could figure out and know how to take care of. Like,
well, didn't he say that he's nervous?
It's funny because he's changed his tone to where now it's like there's no if or like how this gets done, but it has to be done.
What the
like
fuck?
We're going to be a corrupt country if we don't get this taken care of right now.
Shit. I was trying to see what if we still getting a bunch from Ukraine or not.
Oh, on our numbers?
Probably not.
Oh, I just had shake voice
because of internet.
Because of the wind.
No, they probably don't have good internet.
Probably. I mean, it's Elon's internet that's set up right now, right? That they're using.
Yeah,
which is funny if Elon's in cahoots with Russia and Trump, but I guess we'll believe you on that.
The other thing is, like, one of the things we didn't say was the human trafficking. That was like the number one country in the world for human trafficking was Ukraine.
Sex rings.
And the other thing that I came across over the weekend that popped up in one of my feeds on something was the Ukrainian army is just grabbing people off the streets left and right, and there's videos of it everywhere. Like, guys just walking down the street minding their own business. Young boys coming home from college or school or whatever, walking down the street, and the military pulls up beside them, grabs them, throws them in the vehicles like, all right, you're enlisted now. And they just disappear. Families don't even know what happened to them. These guys are just gone. And there's a super clip video going around of like 50 different videos of this where either someone's videotaping it or there's someone, CCTV or Ring door cam or whatever the fuck they have over there, seeing it, and it's shocking. Like, they're chasing guys through the streets trying to grab them, or a guy will see a van coming and he'll just dart a different direction, and this van just starts chasing them down.
Yeah,
a military van.
What did like right after the first year they said that they said that you can enlist up to the age of 65, preparing the 65 up to 65 the like to be drafted.
Is that what it is?
I think they did. I think they raised the age limit that you could get drafted. Like after like the first year, they knew they were going to run into numbers problems because remember at the beginning it was just labeled as a war of attrition. You heard everybody saying they're just going to throw bodies at this, both sides. And
and then I thought what mud season was supposed to slow all that down or some shit, or the rainy season. And
the thing is though, I don't understand the pushback from the left so much on this at all. Like, it seems like the whole world, no matter how it happens, one way or the other, both sides have to agree to stop killing each other. They have
That's
to do a
it.
ceasefire. They have to stop firing at each other and killing each other.
That's my thing. Is
Let's just get that done first.
out of everything that happened on Friday in that room in the Oval Office, how can you still be on the side of a guy that wants to keep fighting and keep throwing bodies at it?
Imagine
and keep
how
going?
discouraging that is if you're Ukrainian and you hear that. You hear this guy saying that, and you're like, man, I've already lost, like.
All communications has been destroyed over there. No one knows anything that's going on.
Yeah, true.
So apparently today, and I have a big feeling, I'd put this in the red book, and I'd put money on this, is that by the time we do our show next week, peace will be struck.
That's
a piece
gonna
of
make
cord will be against
Democrats
two of them.
so pissed off.
Because they've already sent out a couple of releases today, and there's some rumors back channel that let me pull it up here. That
Some channel cat rumors.
some stuff going on. Let me pull this up real quick. I've seen it at different sources.
About him coming to the table a little bit more.
He's
via
already
tweet,
he's
like on
supposedly already
Twitter
on
or
his
X.
bounce. He's on his way back over here already.
Oh,
on
really?
a flight to get back over here.
Yeah.
If any of this is true, and this is what we'll see, if any of this is true, because if none of this comes to fruition over the next week, then fuck this source. But he's flying to U.S. to sign a deal with Trump. Some of the key points in this that could change or be deleted is the United States will earn 50% of future revenue from Ukraine's mineral wealth as repayment to the United States tax dollars spent on the war. They will not be a member of NATO. Ukraine was never going to join NATO. They've always been a line in the sand for Russia and what started the war in the first place. No boots on the ground.
That's the scary thing, is how much it sounds like Europe is just like the UN or the EU and NATO are all just trying to tie us into somehow putting
big
our boots on the
war.
ground.
Yeah, they want a giant war.
Somehow
Everybody
they want
wants
to
war.
manipulate us. Somehow they want to manipulate us to commit to boots on the ground, and we're not going to
Yeah.
fucking do it. And our country doesn't want it to be done, and Trump is not down with that in any way, fashion, or form. And they keep coming up with these cuckoo ideas to pin us into to make us to draw us into this thing, and we're being extra cautious not to let it happen, because that could be the end of the world. Like, we're messing with the end
Yeah.
of the world.
Yeah.
It's
They
amazing.
said Musk is seriously worried about getting off. His
I
words
would
from
too.
his latest Rogan podcast. Okay, 4 more points here. So no boots on the ground. There will be a demilitarized zone.
Has to be at this point.
Yeah, Ukraine will concede the territory they've already lost. It's not exactly known how much, but it will probably be the territories they lost to Russia. Russia will hold on to them. Russia hasn't released any concessions yet, but there will probably be prisoner trades, trade-offs from the war, and then
They're not going to
that's
ask for
pretty much it.
anything from the U.S. as far as prisoners,
Who do we
because
have?
I think this
We're
is
not
going to be
taking
multilateral.
We're not taking We're not taking prisoners from that war. We don't have any prisoners from that war.
You don't think that that's going to be a multilateral deal, though? Like, there's not going to just be a deal between Ukraine and Russia.
Why
There's
would
gonna
we
be,
just give up
I'm talking about
some Russian prisoners that we have from
something else.
decades ago or something else?
I don't know, man. They always come up with these crazy
Nah.
deals. If it's multilateral, they're going to ask for whatever they want.
Then it probably won't happen. But I don't see that being thrown in there. That just doesn't make sense with all
That's
this.
what
Like
why do they always want that then? Why does Russia always want these guys back?
because a lot of them are badasses
Yeah, right.
and are on up their KGB ladder. But I don't think they're not going to come to the U.S. for that. This is between those two.
I just don't think it's going to stay that way. I think it's going to be a deal where everybody in NATO's got to be in on it. We got to be in on it. And it's going to be one of, especially if there's a demilitarized zone, who's going to work that?
Probably.
Like right now, the U.S. Trump would say, no, we're not putting our troops in the, even if it's a
No,
unmilitarized zone, we're
because
not
that could
putting
be
our
a
troops in there.
disaster. You
Mhm.
could get it from both sides.
Yeah. The
Fuck
UK?
that.
You think the UK is going to gamble to something like that? It's going to be a
Where
bunch of
is it?
countries involved, I think, in the negotiations and what they decide to do.
So did you see
Scary,
that?
though.
We've been talking about one of the things where you learn a bunch of information about what the hell's going over there, and you know you're not a dumbass. You learn a lot. Are these geopolitical scholars that have
Yeah.
talked about the deep in and outs over there
Yeah.
that no one's talking about? Well, did you see that Jeffrey Sachs went over to the EU Parliament and what he rattled off this whole war and everything?
Is he
I'll send you that video. He's a geopolitical scholar.
no, I mean, is he like on what's it called, the newsletter?
No,
Like, does he have a
no,
not an outtake? What's it
I'll
called?
just send you the link here. It's
Yeah.
a little, it's 4 minutes long, but it talks about all the way back from when Clinton was in office and wanted to start setting up missiles around Poland and in Ukraine
See, how many
and everything
times have you
along the
referred
border
back
of
to
Russia.
that
Clinton?
documentary and gone? This is the Cold War still in action. Like the Cold War never went away.
Yeah,
Just like that documentary.
but he wanted to, they started setting up missiles around Romania and Slovakia and all that. And, it just led to pissing Putin off. The other thing that's come up a lot is over the last few days since all this happened in the Oval Office is how much old footage has come up of Clinton praising Putin and how great of a leader he is for Russia and how great of,
Yeah. And then that picture of Hillary with the reset button,
yeah, that's pretty good too.
like that's going around.
But
It's just
all
it's
this
a
old
wild
footage,
time.
crazy.
The scariest part though, I think still is the fact that there seems to be something going on over in Europe that they are trying to twist our arm into committing troops. Somehow, some way, they want us to commit troops, and
I don't
that's
trust the EU
bullshit.
at all.
I don't either, or NATO, honestly.
I don't trust NATO neither. Yeah, I don't like any of that. You're right. There's a bunch of weird shit going on over there. I don't like it. They're trying to do some weird shit.
Hmm.
I'm not in all that. Scared to fly to Russia or fly to Europe now. U.S. citizens could be targets.
We're high value.
Unless we get a whacking
Yeah.
out of Vulcan. And I'm not as depressed as I was last week when we finished the show because Nail Bomb, Alex Newport's not playing with this incarnation, so just Max and his friends.
Max.
Fucking Max. Let's see here. Yeah, so that was a fun time. That was a fun weekend watching all this go down. And then watching everybody backtrack and everybody do this. And then everybody freak out on social media. Especially everybody that has no idea what the hell they're talking
That's
about.
why
We
tonight-
barely know what the hell we're talking about.
Yeah. That's why tonight I can't wait to go home and watch TV. Like veg out and watch all the absurd things that happened during the speech because it's going to be a shit show.
Did it really happen?
What's that?
We've been in here all night, but
Oh yeah, it's still
State of the
going. I
Union?
think. Or I don't think it's the State of the Union. Maybe it is the State
thought
of the
it
Union
was.
address. Let's see.
And technically, Trump isn't a president. Isn't how does it work? Like he did the inauguration and everything, but it still takes 30 days after inauguration for him to become fully president or some shit like that. They were talking about this today, and there's something behind the scenes politically. Like he's got to do the State of the Union address for it to. The day he does the State of the Union address is when he is 100% full power president. He doesn't have full power until like today. So no telling what the hell's going to happen.
Well, Speaker directs
Really?
Sergeant at Arms to remove Democrat member disrupting Trump's speech.
Who was it?
I would have to click on it, and I'm too lazy to do that right now.
Oh.
I'll do it. Hang on. Just, let's see.
Manage.
Democrat, Texas Republican Al Green is escorted out.
Al Green, the singer?
That's weird.
That's a very weird thing. Can't believe they kicked him out.
Yeah.
metrics, visitors.
Are you still looking that up?
Well, it took forever to get in because I've changed this whole back end up. Ville.
Ukraine, we love you.
We love you. We love you. We love
And
you.
the Ukraine.
Huh.
We love to rip off your code numbers.
Let's see. We had 111,000 downloads in the month of February. Only 97,000 in January, though. Is that because we brought Thomas on?
You can be real with us, guys. He's not here tonight.
You can tell us.
We're in the tree of trust.
Since we had
Is
more
it
downloads last year
Is it
or
because
last
of
month
Thomas?
instead of January, is it because Thomas joined us?
Is it because
You're
of
like,
Thomas?
That guy's so sexy.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around. We lost listeners
No,
once Thomas.
we
came
got
on.
more listeners
It's
with
all the
Thomas
Skip
here.
fans.
All the Skip fans are
I
coming
don't know
over.
what it is. Why do Skip fans talk like
We
that?
love Skip.
I was wondering if this is the Jerry Jonestown Massacre
1, 2,
podcast
3,
show.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
It is.
10.
Is that where the dude from Skip is? Is the dad of Skip there?
All right.
I mean, Thomas?
Our
Yeah.
top 10 countries, number 10 is Ukraine. But number 3 is the next country I don't trust.
Russia.
Latvia.
Oh,
With the Latvian gangsters.
man.
Latvia's bad.
I have way too many Adidas, like, little things that I wear around the house. I'm always
your
wearing
tracksuit
Latvia, like someone in my neighborhood, Latvia. Just go,
Wait a second. You got to have an AK-47 if you're going to be full on Latvian
no,
tracksuit.
they'll have silencers probably.
Or Slavic.
Yo, Matteo Stabalino from the black metal scene in Brooklyn. It is I.
So this is what I don't get. We have the most listeners in the U.S.,
Mm-hmm.
then Canada,
Hey,
Japan, Konnichiwa,
konnichiwa.
in the UK.
Well, we did need you. They don't care about us now.
They sent it. We got emails last week. Then the Russian Federation is like number 8. It says Russian Federation, but they have taken more bandwidth from us than anybody else. They're in 8th place, but they almost triple the bandwidth of anybody else.
Yeah, maybe that's why we've. Maybe they want us to get the devil box
You might
or
need
the
to get
demon
you a.
box.
You might need to get you a CEO
plates.
elimination tool, like I did.
Yeah,
You need to just to carry around.
yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't get it. I'm trying to see because you can also on our back end, you can see where most of the bots and spiders are coming from, and those that are trying to infect your site. And would you guess? Latvia number 1, Russia number 2,
They wear a lot of Puma too.
Ukraine
don't they?
number 3.
Yeah, that's a lot of Puma and Adidas right there, man.
That's a lot of Slavic.
You guys like
Hate.
Slayer? We do.
We're a good fan. Yeah.
Well, here's your pizza. Hope you enjoy it.
Good God. Our last
Oh.
show,
Terrible.
no, it pushed 7.8 gig of traffic. That's
weird.
a lot.
Why?
No wonder I'm getting all this hate email from our hosting company. What are you boys doing over there?
That's weird.
We just do a podcast.
Is it because I use Chat GPT too much?
No. You're not using chat. You're not doing anything. This is how much traffic's been taken from
Oh.
our server.
Like we're owed money?
No.
Damn. We owe money.
It's the bandwidth that is used. How many people are listening to the show? Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah.
8 gig is a lot.
Mm.
That is a lot. So, on one episode in 1 week,
Who do we have on last week? It's just us three, wasn't it?
yeah, because everybody keeps whipping their dick out and waving it in the wind.
What?
I'm done booking people. Fuck it. You want to come in here? Just show up on a Tuesday night. One weekend we may have 10 people. The next weekend we may have none. But just do it that way. Whenever you want to come over, just fucking come over.
Well, that went well.
Stop bothering me.
I'm glad we met tonight.
I thought Thomas was going to help book people
You're
too. I
grumpy
thought that was
because he's
part of
not
it.
here, aren't you?
Yeah, we don't have camera changing. Although, have you gotten any reviews on that?
On us camera change?
On the camera swapping and moving around? No one
Video?
said like that's aggravating or that's great. I like
I'm
being able
afraid to
sip your
watch it.
pores.
Because I'll come in here and be like, what the fuck?
Well, I didn't know if anybody in your family or friends have been watching and been like, I like that.
No, my family distance from this thing still.
Mine has fully embraced it, and they support everything I stand for.
That's good. You have a good family.
I lie. All right, so let's do something fun.
Closer can? What?
There's a ride out at Six Flags that all of us have loved since we were kids.
It's getting taken away?
It's not getting taken away. In fact, just the opposite. It's going into the Roller Coaster Hall of Fame, and it's going to receive a plaque, and it will probably never be torn down now.
The Giant?
Nope.
Shockwave?
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
The Shockwave is going into
The loop-to-loops.
the Roller Coaster Hall of Fame, and it's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Did you ever get your fingers wet on that?
No, I don't know if I did on the Shockwave. Man, that
Why
was.
do you think it's called the
I was
Shockwave?
always worried. The Shocker Wave.
The Shocker Wave.
I was always worried. You ever, if you're from DFW, you've done the Shocker Wave, right? Sounds like something stupid some
Yeah.
kids down at freaking Nacogdoches say at SFA or some shit.
Those loops are 116 feet tall.
See, I was gonna say I don't know if I ever got my fingers wet on that or pruny because I was always worried about not having my neck go into my butthole for the two loops. If you don't relax yourself, relax your anus,
Yeah.
and put your head on the back of the.
That's what I'm
like
talking about.
that,
That's how you
it's
get your
like-
fingers wet is you relax your anus.
Oh, I misinterpreted.
You
the,
thought I meant with a
the
female
logistics
friend.
of yours. Yeah. I'm
Oh, no,
sorry.
I was talking about keeping yourself in check.
I thought we were talking about the spelunker.
No. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 116 foot tall, and I just about every time
How many times do you think that thing's been painted?
black out. Did your vision ever black out on that?
Especially on the
So
spinnaker and the
Because it's like 7Gs.
funnel. The
I'm talking about Shockwave. I don't give a fuck about any other rides there. This is the ride that's going in the Hall of Fame.
I just made this into a Six Flags ad.
Yeah, screw the rest of the ride. It's Six Flags. I'm just talking about the Shockwave.
No, I never felt like I was getting knocked out, but that when it forced your head down when you were a kid, like that force
Yeah.
would give me a headache.
My favorite part of that ride, though, is
Yeah.
after the loops when you hit that mid break,
Yeah.
and then you just zoom through the track, through the trees and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
down by the walkway where you walk up to get on the ride and stuff. I love that part
Yeah.
so much. It feels so good.
And the weird part, the thing is that when you find out what was pushing your head down wasn't the gravity, it was your uncle sitting next to you.
That's why your fingers are wet.
Is that a weird thing to get into?
It kind of is.
It wasn't the gravity pushing my head down. It was my uncle.
So back in the day,
I shouldn't make fun of. I should not joke about that shit.
back in the day,
very
that was
negative.
a groundbreaking roller coaster that people would wait like 3 hours to
Oh
ride.
yeah.
3 like,
Remember how stinky it would get? All that mildew smell and stuff in the lines.
because the creek. What is that? What creek is that that runs
I just
through there?
thought it was the Tarrant County chicks.
Jesus.
I was like, y'all need to take some showers before you bust out in this humidity.
Johnson, whatever.
Sure, I smelled
Oh,
delicious.
look, Skip Redstone's in the chat room. Must be hard laying down bass while you got a puppet on your fucking hand.
You're about to hand out 2 pink slips in one day.
Yeah.
Actually, it's yellow slips, right? Pink slips are
He
when
was
you're
going in the
done.
red book.
Red book.
That's where he's getting checked off.
Whoa, who's doing that part?
The Shockwave was better also when it was blue. Why is it green?
Well, that's what I was wondering. How many colors has it been? Because it's been black too, hasn't it?
I think it was black back when
It's
we were
been
young
purple.
kids.
Or is that just the blue that faded?
I think it was the blue that faded.
Has it ever been red?
Not that I know of. Why is it green?
Probably the Hulk or something. They probably tied it into some stupid Marvel or DC comic shit. That's how stuff
Let
happens
down.
these days. I don't even think they really. I'm surprised they still call it Six Flags, honestly.
It's one of the oldest continuously operating coasters in the Six Flags chain. It's over 40 years old. Opened to the public in 1978.
How many fatalities?
Let's go to the wiki and see. Let's go
The
see
Creep
on the
Wiki.
wiki. You think people have died on it? Did you ever ride the other coaster out there that had people die on it?
Which one? The giant?
No.
Like who? I don't even know. Oh, the Judge Roy Scream.
Nope.
Anytime
The
there's
one
been a
they
roller
tore
coaster, I
down.
try to do.
We
What was
we
that,
would have been
too?
kids, like young kids, but God damn it, what was the name of that one? Ride experience references. I don't see anything on here about death.
No body counts. They don't put those stats up.
No, I don't see. I don't see it.
There's an app ID or idea.
Yeah.
The roller coaster body count app.
Does anybody know? Anybody know it in the chat room? What the roller coaster was at Six Flags that came off the track, killed a bunch of people, and they tore it down shortly thereafter. Anybody? Anybody? Anybody?
We need body count numbers.
Anybody?
They don't want to play, man.
No
They
one
don't
wants to
wanna
play.
No. That's crazy.
It wasn't Astro Lift. Big Bend. Duh.
Big Bend.
The Big Bend. Yeah. That came off the track and smashed on the ground and killed a bunch of people.
Dang.
Yep. And it was at California's Great America, too, and they took that one out. The Big Bend. And now we lose the bobsled.
It's gone?
Yeah, the bobsled's gone.
Damn.
And another one because they're building a big hyper coaster over there or some shit.
Oh, a hyper coaster.
Yeah. But it won't be a.
Think you'll be able to get your fingers wet there with your uncle?
Maybe. Depends on how willing my uncle is.
We review roller coasters in a real weird way
Yeah. What time is it?
in amusement parks.
Time for me to go to bed yet? All right, I got one more thing.
It's that wind, dude. Every
They-
time we get
yeah.
quiet in here, I can hear the wind. I'm like, you know what? It'd be
I-
nice just to take a nap on this podcast.
I'm not kidding. I really thought that sometime during the
Have
show,
you felt it shaking?
the shed would just fall over on us and we just end it.
It'd be the
That's
end
it.
of the show.
That's the end of the show. You just see the walls go and the podcast over. Good night.
That was it, guys.
That's it. That's it. All right, so
Maybe it'll be in Texas.
do you like lists?
I do like lists.
Everybody likes lists.
We've had some of our greatest conversations in here because of a well put together list.
Well, this is a well put together list, I think. It's not by Fort Worth Report or whatever Andrew uses. It's by the other one, the other Fort
Chat
Worth one.
GPT.
It's 25 products made in Fort Worth by Fort Worthians. As we go through here, I want to know how many of these things you have partaken of, Matt, or that you own.
That I own? Because if it's a bunch of cowboy stuff, probably not much of it.
No, you're
But
good.
I've seen it and messed with some cowboy stuff.
First up is drinks.
Fish hooks.
Have you figured out how to use that yet? Did you find some videos on how to put a fish hook in someone's butthole?
Was that random the other night? I forgot how these things work, man.
That was in the middle of my photo shoot with Flicker Stick and Wasp,
Yeah.
or Wasp playing. All right. Drinks. TX Whiskey.
Yes. I've had that.
Martin House Brewing Company.
Yes.
Avoca Coffee.
I don't know about that. Sounds delicious, though.
Down on Magnolia.
Definitely try it.
Rahr and Sons Brewing Company.
Yes.
Blackland Distillery.
Yes.
Silver Star Spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Lockwood Distilling.
Probably.
They have fantastic whiskey and hibiscus vodka, some bourbon cream. It's a good joint. Acre Distilling.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one out of all these I haven't had yet. Bucking Bull Bourbon. Have you
I
had
don't
that?
think I've had that either, unless it was way too late in the night and what's his name, Chase bought it for me, and I told him I would pay him when my lady comes and picks me up, but she never showed up.
And you still owe him money, and he still asks me about that every time I go down to.
Sad. I was by myself. I think I went.
Every
home.
time I go to Morgan Mercantile, he's like, "Where the fuck is Stubbs' money?"
I think I cried about that night.
And then La Puya Spirits. That's the new tequila from
Yeah.
Northside.
They sound delicious.
So those. Now we have food. We got 1, 2, 3, a few things of food here. Best made pickles.
Had that. Delicious,
Sweet
by the way.
Lucy's pies.
I've had that.
Melt ice cream.
Pretty sure I've had that.
This is a meat company, not a gay bar, but Fort Worth Meat Packers.
I bet you that place smells like patchouli and meat juice.
They do a lot of good bison and wild boar pork. Morgan's Ice Cream in the South Side. I haven't had their stuff yet. And Miss Renfro's hot sauce. We used to have a ton of that in here.
God, that stuff was good too. I took a whole case home and ate all of it.
Mm-hmm. How many?
The raw peach one they did.
That one was great. That one was so good. I'd like to hunt that down again. They still doing that one?
Man, I don't know. I'm not a cool kid. I don't get to go do cool things anymore like that.
You could.
I'm working on stuff. Working on my life, bro.
Mm-hmm. But you're missing your life.
Nothing is over.
outside. You're missing your life in the outside world.
Look, John, it's over.
All right, ML Ladies.
What? ML Ladies?
Letty's Boots down in the stockyards.
Oh, nah.
I've been in there.
Yeah, I've been in there, but I've never bought anything. I know someone that did, though.
Fort Worth Locals is another clothing store. The best hat store is where I need to go.
Yeah, I need to get a hat
to get my Stetson that I'm gonna get.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
it's
badass.
about to be
too.
straw season, though, man.
I know. I need to get it before we go down to the desert.
You're gonna wear the Stetson on the desert?
Why not? If it's the high road,
it'll be out of
I'll
season.
wear it. Why? It's straw.
Oh wait, straw starts in May.
It starts whenever it gets hot.
Yeah.
Peters Brothers
that
hats. I can go down there too.
Yeah.
Who was it that had a bunch of badass hats that we looked at last year? Or last time we were down in the Big Bend? Was that Marfa? That store?
The barbecue joint had a good plate. Had some cool. Oh yeah, you're talking about the in Marfa that had the cool hats that
that shop
someone
with all the
ganked
hats.
from me, I guess. Because I can't find mine now. And that was
The
badass
cowboy hats,
hat.
the straw hats.
No, I got the one that was the like from that coffee shop that had all that crazy.
Oh yeah, that coffee shop, yeah.
Those cool ass crazy drinks and coffee drinks.
It was the one that said "Print is not dead."
Yeah.
I
got it somewhere.
Where's mine?
Probably got ganked.
People really like that hat. Whenever you wear it, people are like, "That hat's rad." It's probably one of those assholes that said that hat's rad. Stole it.
And mine started coming apart too, man. And I think I'm way
forgot
outside
about
the
that.
return policy.
I forgot about that coffee place. I want to go back there.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Really good.
Marfa's a cool town.
Marfa's a
I
great
recommend everyone go to Marfa.
We'll be there in 6 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that. Anyway, Dickies. I own a lot of Dickies. Of course. And then Justin boots. I need to get me a new pair of boots, but I've had Justin's. And then the 3 that are left, which I actually have one of these. Trippy Outdoor. They make that cool wooden stool, foldable stool thing that I take camping sometimes. And then Runyon's Fine Furniture. And Into the West, the home furniture store. Those are the 25 products made in Fort Worth by Fort Worthians.
They're not Chinese.
Mm-mm. No Chinese here. No Chinese here. And I bet you, if you went down the gun route, you'd find a whole bunch more. But everybody's scared to talk about guns manufactured in Fort Worth because I know there's one place that they got machines in there. I've watched them work. They build all their uppers and lowers, and
Yeah.
they build everything in office. And it's pretty rad watching them cut a block of aluminum. Everything. It's really cool.
How much are those now? 3D printers like that. Cut shit.
This is like it's
and the steel.
It's
cutters.
not a printer. It's like a router, CNC machine, all robotic, all in one. That they just put a giant square of metal in there, and it just starts going to town.
If we had access
cool
to that, how long would it be until we try to make a dick?
The first night,
like the big old municipal.
That's why I
dick.
don't own a 3D printer because you guys would come in here and start
dicks.
making stuff you could stick your dick in.
Yeah, it would turn into it. It would always be, hey man, we're gonna come over and mess with some concepts on the printer. All right, lock it up.
Hop on Reddit. 3D printing gone wrong, or gone bad. 3D printing gone bad.
Really, I have to check that out.
Yeah. When I was on the verge of pulling the trigger on a good 3D printer, I started going through stuff, and then all these subreddits, and then there was 3D printing gone bad, and I was like, they basically print like that chick up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. They print shit like that. And then a bunch of chastity belts.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What about the bear trap? That looks 3D printed.
It is 3D printed.
Oh my gosh, man. Oh man, that's in Texas for sure, man. That whole look, that was straight off of like what we do in the shadows in the office right there. Just that's a bear trap. The look you gave me was so Jim. It's a fucking bear trap. Just the look of
pure bear. I don't want to talk about that. Some people don't know how to take the holiday show seriously.
I want to go. It's uncomfortable now.
Oh shit! I did want to say,
I want to go home. It's uncomfortable now.
I finished Cobra Kai today.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I still haven't even. I still got like 2 seasons left. So.
It's all over.
Yeah,
the last season was really good.
So it's worth
It
sticking
turns
it
around.
out.
If you can get through the stupid bullshit of the season before, you just go the last season and watch it. That's all that
How
matters.
many are there now?
I don't know.
I think I stopped on like season 4.
Go to
Couldn't be that many more.
The last season, they cut it in half. But if you just start the last season, you'll know everything that's going on. You're caught up. They go and they fight something, and then they, lose or win or whatever. But anyway, just watch the last season. You'll get everything going, and you'll feel good, and it's great. I was like, this is good. So then I immediately started watching the Black Hawk Down documentary.
How's it? I've thought about that a couple of times.
Holy fuck!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
It's a good one. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
How long is it? Like 4 or 5 episodes, or
it's 3 episodes, I believe.
You want to hear something crazy?
I
that
was
started
not
again?
prepped for them to have interviews from guys playing both sides.
Yeah.
And a bunch of those Somalians still being alive and being able to talk about that day and how they felt victorious taking down a Black Hawk helicopter.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god. But you get to see it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's crazy because they were all kids. They're all kids. It's like,
yeah. I started the Robert Durst documentary again.
Fred's dad.
Yeah, his lesser known dad.
His lesser known dad, yeah.
That'd be wild if Fred was related to all that. But I forgot how freaking psychotic that guy was, man. Like his testimony, like when they're talking to him or they show his testimony or they're interviewing him or anything where he's being questioned, like that dude's a master manipulator, and the way he's like just soulless, like, oh, the burden on me to clean up the mess of my dead wife is to break her bones so I can make sure she fits into this or that, or like just the no empathy at all in his soul.
Are you watching the second one after he already
I'm watching both of them
at the same time?
No, I started the first one. I know kind of the story.
But did you finish the first one?
I never watched it when it was out. When it came out, which was that right after COVID or was it before COVID when that?
Well, he never
came
in the first one, if I remember right, he never confessed anything until they got him off mic or off camera. He had the mic still on him.
He talks so much openly about what he did and stuff, but the thing is weird is he'll repeat what the question is and almost talk through it to where he bends everything away from him and you end up thinking about something else while they're the whole time he's done that, like every single interview, every time he was questioned by the FBI and stuff, he has this amazing talent of just like this weird sleight of hand while he's speaking to try to get you to forget that this guy has committed murder several times.
Is he like OJ and goes, I didn't do it,
I think
but if I would have, I would have done it like this.
I think he's way more intelligent than OJ is the thing.
I mean, yeah.
They're both psychopaths. One's is the predator like.
I like the theory of OJ's son killing everybody.
Just because he was pissed.
And OJ took the fall for it. Makes me sleep better at night.
Makes you like him again, the old juice. You put your juice pajamas on and throw the football out in the backyard.
It's hard to watch Naked Gun when OJ's in
Is
it
it
all
proper
over the
to
place.
laugh at his scenes still, or can you not laugh at him? I know one of them you can't laugh at all at anymore, but like, can you laugh at OJ's characters anymore, or is that against?
Which
is that
one can you not
unwoke?
laugh at anymore?
Where he can't get through the detector? Isn't that him? Like with the fro?
Was that in the first Naked Gun?
I thought. Maybe
I honestly haven't seen him in forever.
Like, yeah,
I haven't seen him in forever.
Naked Gun's pretty far down on the list when you're
When you're
trying
like,
to find
man,
stuff
I really
to
want
watch
to watch
and chill
something.
out with.
No, I go to trying to find something to watch and I fire Tropic Thunder. If I'm gonna be racist and
Still
wrong,
holds up.
you watch a movie that's racist and wrong.
Yeah. It should have won an Academy Award that year because that's one of the greatest roles that Tom Cruise has ever done.
I actually told a guy at work the other day, you went full retard. You
Never go full. Remember when we used to play that drop almost every other show?
You had an intro that you wanted made.
I thought we did make it.
We did, and we used it, and it's still sitting here on my hard drive.
Put it in rotation again.
It's
Trump's in office, man. It's all
a
the rules.
mashup
We're
of-
back in, man. We can make all the crazy ass jokes we want now again.
It's a
back
mashup
on.
of Tropic Thunder and The Walking Dead. Carl dying. Carl, that meme. Carl, it's a roast beef sandwich, Carl.
In the voice
You get it?
from the dude from Something About Mary. He was masturbating. He was the lead character going, Carl! That's comedy genius back then, man.
Freaking these Carl. I just had to go look at them. Carl, I tried Wookiee meat. Dad, stop. It was chewy, Carl. Dad, please.
I like mine better. Carl! He was masturbating.
What's a pirate's favorite letter, Carl? R. Dad, stop. You may think that, Carl, but a pirate's first love is always the sea. The sea, Carl. The sea. That right there is an overacting scene.
Oh yeah.
That's a
Yeah, a lot of the
Sylvester
memes, a lot of the good
Stallone
memes are
are
overacting
from
scenes.
overacting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hardcore.
We should do a show on overacted scenes. I bet you.
Oh, you mean like the bit they do on
Sly
Hollywood Babylon?
Sly Stallone probably at least has 5 of them, the overacting scenes, right? That would be nominated.
Him and Nick Cage. The bees.
Yeah.
The bees. Yeah, him and Nick Cage are pretty over the top.
Yeah.
Al Pacino's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd all have some. They'd all have some. All right, I'm done. I got
That's a
nothing
cool
else.
show
I'm
idea.
falling
That's
out.
for like a podcast that plans shit and stuff.
Yeah, it's called Hollywood Babylon with Kevin Smith and Ralph Garman. They do it once a month now, and they have a whole section of that show that's all about exquisite acting.
Yeah. I think a butthole came up in one of them, right?
Well, that was Anne Heche's butthole is on a different planet.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
That was just from Kevin Smith watching the 4K version of
Can
Psycho.
we ever go out to dinner and just have one meal that we don't talk about some fucker's asshole?
And that's why we've never been to Blue Sushi again.
The greatness of Seth. Nip it in the bud right off the bat as soon as we sit down. And like the first conversation that you and Chris and I get into has to do, or maybe Gary, one of us starts up a conversation about assholes. And Seth took the opportunity to say, enough. When we go out to eat, I'd like to start having some meals that we don't talk about anuses.
He
And-
said butthole.
Oh, yeah, he said butthole. He was
Yeah.
upset.
He was very upset.
The look on shock in all of our faces were like, what? That's a commitment, man.
Yeah.
You can't just play that card.
No. No.
You can't just throw that card out there and like, no,
You never know.
we will not ever break bread again if I ever hear one of you guys talk about someone's asshole.
If you are around Chris Johnson, you're going to talk about a butthole at some point. A butthole will come up.
Yeah. And if you're with any of us, there's going to be a penis talk. There's going to be some kind of talk about penises.
It's going to be a talk there's something wrong with somebody's penis.
Or animal. Sometimes we might have an animal penis
That's
conversation.
when you're with the band.
I just wish we could go to one meal.
I just wish we could go to the zoo and not have a breakdown of bifurcated or single shaft penises.
I've seen so many things that shocked me at the Fort Worth Zoo.
A lot. I learned a lot about sex at the Fort Worth Zoo. And I'm not talking about getting my fingers pruning either.
I got most of my sexual education at the Fort Worth Zoo.
I think I did. You ever watch two giraffes hump?
Cue up, what is it, the Doghound or Bloodhound Gang?
Oh. Let's cover that. That's easy.
Yeah.
I appreciate your input. All right, I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah.
Thank you, Thomas, for not being here this week and distracting us.
Yeah,
You're now in the phone line in the chat room.
we can't wait for you to be back on the show.
If you come in next week and there's someone sitting in your seat that's replaced you, don't blame us.
No.
Blame them. Did you get all your bass lines at least recorded? Wait 30 seconds for the chat room to catch up.
You know, if your work wives and husbands don't feel loved, they're going to start sleeping around, Matt. You hear me, buddy? You hear me?
Yeah, Andrew's already trying to replace Matt
As the helicopter.
helicopter pilot. This was just rehearsal?
What? This
Not
wasn't
recording?
this wasn't a show or something? Or like
Did you do all this at your house?
this was just getting together and
let's get together and
idea
rehearse.
sounds neat.
Oh my god. Now I'm even more pissed.
I gotta go.
Oh no, they rehearsed at Cloudland.
What's the new stuff sound like?
Neat.
Gotta go.
And we're clear. Save this. I appreciate your input. I gotta go turn this one off. Hold on. Let me turn off the chat room so that way we can talk about RoboTuner.